Friday. Samantha Aotaki, thank you so much to zoom in where I am going to zoom in on you because I think you are absolutely amazing. And I'm so glad to have you on my show. So thank you so much. How are you?
I'm good. I'm good. It is a happy Friday today. How are you doing?
Yeah, I feel really good. I'm just like,
Yeah.
it's Friday. I'm like, things are happening, moving and shaking. And I'm like, and I have to say, when I met you, and this is like the first time we actually see each other face to face. So when I kind of virtually met you, I'm like, this woman has it going on. She's doing everything. And I'm like, I love that because so many people talk the talk, but you are walking the walk. And so inspiring because you're a young woman here in Los Angeles. You're in which part of LA again?
I'm like in the Griffith Park area. So
All
like
right.
Los Angeles, yeah.
But you are making it happen. And I'm so glad to have you on my show. So thank you. So you have, would you like to share a little bit how you got into filmmaking and how it all came about for you?
Yeah. So for me, it's a long journey. Like literally, my mom put me into acting classes when I was 13 just because I mumbled a lot. So it kind of just started from that. And when I was younger, I wanted to be a fashion model, but my mom is actually in fashion, so she broke down very realistically to me, being like, we're a short family, so maybe acting. And yeah, I started acting when I was 13. I was in acting classes. I loved it. I stayed in it. I started getting my first agent when I was like 15, 16. Then when I turned 18, I really started booking. I was booking commercials and little just films, little B-list movies, things like that. And just through working on set, I kind of just started to be interested in other things. So, makeup was a big thing that I was into. So when I was still a teenager, that's when I got my makeup license. I learned special effects makeup and all that. When I turned 18, like there were so many ideas that I had of like shooting and things like that, and I couldn't find people, so I was like, oh, I'll just do it. So everything up with me started with, well, I don't have the budget, or I don't have this, or I don't have that, I'll just figure it out. So yeah, so now we're 15 years later, I'm 28. um
You look a lot younger, by the way.
Thank you. Yeah, I'm still acting. I did take a little break in the middle of my 20s to kind of like do other things, like experience life and all that. But yeah, now I'm back in it, and it's cool because I love acting so much, but now like I also have this deep love for crew. So I'm in a cool spot right now where it's kind of like I kind of can still do everything.
Well, yeah, and you are. Now, well, you have a YouTube channel. Do you want to
Yeah.
share a little bit about what's going on with that?
Yeah, so I do produce a web series. I'm a co-creator of a web series called Come At Me with my partner, Casey Quinn. And that birth of everything was very interesting. Literally, we've been friends for a while. We met actually during my time away from the entertainment. And we met, and she was like, oh, I want to be a writer and, director, actors, all this stuff. And I'm like, hey, me too. Like, and we were just hanging out, and it all started with us just being like, well, let's just film something stupid. That's how it started. A year later, now we're on episode 6 with like a huge cast and crew, and a budget, and everything's flowing. And we're in pre-production right now, and we are filming in a week. So I that's why I love this industry though. It's like once you get the ball rolling, you have no idea what's going to happen,
Right. Well, I think that's the hardest thing for people because they'll get an idea, then they think, well, I can't do this because of this, or I can't do this because I don't have money, or I can't do this. It's always, I can't, but I want to. And it seems like you just said, I want to do this. I'm going to make it happen.
Yeah. And I'm so grateful to have my mom in my life, because she a quote that she always would tell me is, there's 2 types of people in the world: people with ideas and people know how to execute them. And I just was like, well, I know how to execute ideas, so I'll be one of those people. And it's I don't know, honestly, I actually even though of course I want to have 50K, 100K, $1 million for a budget, right?
Right.
It is kind of fun to be like, okay, we don't have money, but we want to do this.
And
Like, how do we make this happen? You know, and especially in this day and age, I'm like, this is the time where it's hard. You know, it's hard to sorry. It's easy to make a lot of excuses, but
right.
it's also easy to move past them because you have things like YouTube, you do have things like iPhones and social media and things like that. So all the old school rules, they still apply, but not
Not
really,
really.
you
Yeah.
know? Yeah.
Yeah.
Like,
Well, yeah, and you have to make it your own, you know, and okay, the money is going to come. You know, I truly believe you do the work, the money's going to come one way or another, but I think it's having that desire and that passion. I think that's what's lacking so much in society right now is that passion to do and create, because everyone wants something to be done for them, or you know, that has an excuse why they can't do it, but you're doing it. And that's what I love about the YouTube stuff. It's like, you know, it's like you're not freaking out over the right words or the, you know, it has to be done just right. You're just doing it. And as you build experience and you build that library, you know, you get, you know, I like to see you get better and more creative, and that just expands, right?
yeah. And I do think that's something that really does hold a lot of people back is they go, oh, it needs to be perfect, or it needs to be this, it needs to be that. And oh, I don't even want to do it if we don't have this budget and things like that. And for me, I'm like, you learn so much in just the process of creating, you know, like I've thought about it so many times again, like, of course we want a big budget for the web series already, but you know, if you know how to deal with a 10K budget, you know how to deal with a 100K budget, you know, it's a kind of like, you can't graduate first grade and be like, okay, I'm ready for college. You know, that's kind of how I see it. It's like, you kind of got to go in these stages. And you know, anytime someone's like, oh, I want to do this, but oh, I'm afraid. I'm like, you know how much content there is? You know, the likelihood that no one's going to see it, very high. So just do it. Because that's the whole thing, right? Like, we think like, oh my God, like what if like it blows up and it goes viral and all these people are going to see it and I'm going to suck. And it's like, yeah, that could happen, but it probably won't. So why don't you just fuck up now? You know, this is part of my French, but you know, but it's like,
but you know, even if it did happen, how awesome, because that's still blowing up and going viral. And
right, it's a good problem to have.
yes.
So yeah, it's like when you weigh your options of like, if I do it, what happens? It's like, honestly, nothing bad.
Right. All right. So what has been your absolute most favorite experience doing this?
Oh wow. I you know, I love being in the, I love pre-pro and production process within crew. Like I you know, I film a lot of stuff, so I DP, and there is just something about reading the words and reading the scripts and literally being able to be like, we're going to make this come alive. Like, this is going to be alive. And I just love that feeling of being on the day and everyone's in costume and the scene is set up and you set up the shot and it's like, oh, all the characters are alive. It's like the reality's here. Like, oh, like, you know, it's literally like, I love magic and mysticism and all that stuff. And it's such a direct experience of like, we created this. Like, we created this world, like, oh, it's happening, like it's working, like.
All right. So what has been the most challenging experience in all of this?
That. But I think that's what I love about it though, at the same time, like for example, right now, what we're dealing with is, you know, I am a big logistics person. I love scheduling, I love budgeting, I love all the numbers, I love all that. And scheduling is always the most difficult because when I run productions, I just want everyone to be happy, you know, like of course we need to get things done and it's work and all that, but you know, it's hard to be creative when you're slaving away and you know, you have that. Right. And yeah, it's just about being adaptable and really just like breathing, you know, it's and really taking everything as, you know, God, spirit, the universe, is going to protect this project if it's supposed to come out, you know? So what we're dealing with right now, right, is we have a main character who the actor, due to scheduling conflicts, can't be there a lot. And, you know, first instinct was, oh my God, like, what are we gonna do? But you know, you just breathe and you're like, okay, there's a lot of ways around this, because it doesn't matter if this is, you know, a small little web series or we're on a network. This happens.
Right.
You know, it just does. And you know what I always remember is, we're not creating something that's real. We can do whatever we want, you know, like it's not birthed, nothing's established, you know, we're literally creating a fake reality, so everything is changeable. So I just stay in that, you know.
That's a good place to be. That really is. And I think that leaves more room for stuff to come in when you're flexible like that. So
Yeah.
when you're in pre-production, or rather development for a story, like, how did you guys come up with this concept? Do you want to tell a bit more about your?
Yeah. So Casey and I, well, yeah, we're really close. So how we did it originally was we were just hanging out, smoking weed, drinking, and just joking. Like, we were just joking around, and somehow we landed on the whole concept around it. And like that's the whole thing. I almost like don't know how it even came about, but it all like how we come up with ideas is we just sit around and we like hang out in some way, no stress, and just riff. We just think of stupid things, you know, as much as possible. And with this particular project, what we're really leaning into, because I just love this concept of really leaning into the negative aspects of humanity and negative aspects of ourselves. So, you know, before, the characters were very close to who we were as people. Now that, you know, it's developed, it's really, been a divorce, which is great. And it's fun because, yeah, we're all playing characters that are really the shadow aspects or the dark aspects of ourselves, right? So like really leaning into that is super fun because you come up with all these ideas because again, like our world we're creating the world where we're not allowed to do these things in normal society. So let's do it in our world and make fun of it too, because it's, you know, we're making fun of traits that we know are toxic. You know, like she's making fun of her own trait of like her wanting revenge on people, you know. I'm making fun of my own trait of being like so emotionally unavailable I become off like a dictator, right? Like there's certain things like that where we're just leaning into it. You know, if something's leaning, push it.
Right. Yeah. See how far that boundary goes, right? Just how far do you take it? So when you do an episode, how long is it roughly? And then how long does it take to make that particular episode happen? What's your general time frame?
So the episodes right now we've been kind of figuring out, they're usually around 30 minutes. And I've kind of, at this point, it's kind of become like usually around 30 minutes, takes about 4 days to shoot, depending on how many people and how we're doing. And yeah, so you know, this next one we're doing 80 pages, so it's a lot. And we're just trying to do it in 10 days. And you know, how I kind of look at it is, you know, I'll look at like dialogue scenes, which, you know, that doesn't take that long to film, but, you know, I like to leave a lot of room for improv versus like more complicated scenes. And it's kind of just all doing that. It's kind of just like, how long do we want to put into this? How long do we feel we need into this? Is this a scene that we really want to sit there and play with and work and build in the space? Or is this something where it's like, yeah, I mean, they're just talking, like we get that, like, you know.
But it sounds like you're having fun with it too, you know, right? And
yeah,
fun, it's just like that extra ingredient that makes it all the better. That's what I think anyway.
Yeah, I think so too. And you know, a big part of that is I'm just so grateful for finding a team to work with. And I think that's a really big thing in this industry, is finding people that you like, you know, at the end of the day, again, like it's all work, you know, when we're working, we're not friends, whatever. Right. But like, you still need people that you can just sit there and be creative. Like, that's why I do love, you know, working with Casey, and, you know, my other DP, Preston, I love working with him, and we're going to work with you. Because because like, even like sitting at lunch with Preston, just talking about your project, you know, I was like, you know, it's a crime thing. And the second he's like, oh yeah, like we can do that, you know? So like, you know, I love it when people, you just say one thing, like all I had to say was, it's a crime thing in Los Angeles, you know, that's like kind of the vibe. And he was like, you know, like, I love people that have allowed themselves to just
right.
go.
Yeah.
You know, that's why I love Casey. Her ideas, like, that's why I love her as a writer, because her ideas are so beyond. But I'm just like, yes, like, yeah, with fuck it, let's write a car chase with no budget. Why not? Let's see if we can make it happen. Like, you know?
You make it happen, you know, and that's what's so exciting. I mean, I love meeting people who just do it, you know, and that's so hard to find, because it's always you know, it's like, okay, already, it's like, enough of that, you know. But I think, you know, during this 2 year, well, since this whole, you know, quote shutdown, or I mean, I have all kinds of words for it, but I'm being polite here. It's really given people an opportunity to explore their imagination more, I like to think. And I've seen a lot of people really blossom with that creativity, you know, and that's when I started making my own little films. I started, you know, with my iPhone, I made, you know, 3 shorts. And it's funny because when I did it all myself, it was a way so much easier, you know, because then it's like, you're just like in charge of everything, you know. But I realized it is such a collaborative process, even on the smallest scale. You still need to have that collaboration, and like you said, working with people you like is huge, just huge. And so now that I'm in this new project, you know, thanks to Mike, who happened to be in one of my little projects, and we decided what was going to be initially something very short, and we decided to, you know, like, just really go for it. And now I think it could very well easily be up to an hour, you know, depending on what we have fun with, right? And then when he introduced you to me, I'm like, yes, you know, she's the type of person, you know, this is the kind of energy I want to be on my team, because you bring so much creativity and energy, and, you know, these ideas, and this energy I hadn't even thought of, just because, you know, I'm so much older, and yes, I'm like so much older. But you know what I mean? But I thought, yes, this is what's going to make a project happen. And so I was just so excited. And then when I found out you had your own YouTube stuff, and you're making your own stuff, and you've done acting, and you've done this, and you've done that, and I'm like, she's my kind of woman, you know, she's my kind of performer and creator. I love this, you know. And okay, I know I've had a lot of coffee.
Me too.
I get so excited in this process of creation, because I know there are going to be things that come up that are going to be hard and stressful. But I think just when you have that underlying passion and that desire to create these magical worlds, it's like anything's possible. So no matter what's thrown in our direction, it's okay.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. It's interesting, because like, it's such a balance, this whole process, such a balance of order and rules and boundaries with this like intense chaos.
Right.
You know, like, but that's like kind of the beauty of it, right? Is like, there is this, you kind of do, there's a level of having to be analytical and logical, and, you know, stick to a budget and being realistic. But even in that, like, anything can happen. Anything can happen. You gotta just stay adaptable, you know. But I really do think the beauty is there, right? Because like, I don't know, I see it in a macrocosm, microcosm way. Like, you know, nature is chaotic all the time. You know, nature has no rules, but she's beautiful. So like, I kind of see like projects as the same thing. Is like, we kind of don't have any rules because you're creating it. And no matter what, it will be beautiful if you flow with what the project wants to do. Because I think that's also a thing too, is like, it's your baby, right? But at some point, like, the baby needs to start walking on its own, and you kind of got to just let it do that. And I think that's also very scary to let projects kind of start walking on their own, but it's also a learning experience to be like, oh wow, like for example, we're kind of dealing with that, or not dealing with that, but we're experiencing that in the sense of we wrote this character who we had a very specific vision for. We brought in an actor just because of other scheduling conflicts, and he made it so his own that I was like, I don't care about the last character that we came up with. You do whatever you want. So but having that adaptability even within itself of like, it doesn't matter if we created this, like whatever you're doing is better.
You give that person the opportunity to do that, which is so cool. By having, by planting those seeds and nourishing it and letting it come to life, because it's constantly expanding. So all right, so what would you like to see happen with your series? You're doing it now. I mean, is it something that you want to pitch or sell, or just keep doing, or you doing an 80-page show now, or like what do you want to come of it? What are your goals with it?
My goals with it, the big goals is obviously to pitch it and to get it on a network or get on a streaming service in some kind. Like I would love for this to be our full-time job, and I'm gonna push for it. I don't care. I'm you already get my energy. I'm one of those people where I'm just like,
yes,
all I need is one yes. I could have a million no's. I don't care. I will still do this. Like it will happen. But so really the plan is this is really our first big kind of section of it. So we're gonna wrap this up. We do have a whole other section of it that we're planning that we want to go into production next year, and how we're gonna do that is gonna take this as like proof of concepts / like Kickstarters, see go in that direction and fund the next one. So that's like the current plan. Of course, with all of this, when it's done, I'm going to start shopping around just to look at, what are options. And, if someone says yes, early on, like, great. If not, like, I'm still going to keep the web series going and keep building it, just because I'm a strong believer of putting in long-term dedicated work will get you results, even, and I don't know, I'm very much someone where I can really sense if something's complete. And this is a project where, again, the intention is to pitch it and to get on a network. If for some reason doesn't go anywhere, okay, whatever, because I learned a lot. And if I do another one, that is going to be so tight that it's worth it no matter what to me.
You just keep doing and you keep going and keep creating. And I think that's wonderful. I think that's very inspiring also. I really do. And okay, so did you go to film school, or are you self-taught?
I'm self-taught. I'm self-taught. I guess how I would say that I was taught was by being on set.
Right.
And just kind of learning from there. Like makeup was the only thing that I actually went to like a makeup school and special effects school and like had my license in. And acting, I guess I went to acting class, from 13 to 22, and I still go to acting class, so there's that. But with the camera, that's all self-taught, and it just came from me filming my own stuff. I have a lot of friends who are photographers or videographers teaching me stuff. I was really close to someone who was an AD and a DP for a while, so they taught me a lot of stuff. And
I think that's great.
Yeah, it just is like, and people have liked my style mostly like for burlesque and dancers and stuff like that. So it was kind of just like
awesome. I think great. It's funny because a lot of times I think, well, when you go to school, people say, oh, you get a chance to network with other people and get to do that whole thing. But I think there's nothing like on-hand experience, like you're in it and it's almost like an apprenticeship, where you're just learning from people who are doing it. It's like a sink or swim. You either get it or you don't, and I think that's great to really.
Yeah, I know that oh, sorry, I interrupted you.
No.
What was the last thing you said?
It's a great opportunity. I mean, I think that really is in a way, a blessing to have that kind of opportunity.
Yeah, I mean, that's the whole thing. I don't have a film school experience, but I guess how I see it is working on sets, especially sets with, you know, being part of like 200, 300 persons crews.
Right.
That's the experience where like you can kind of only get once you're there, and you realize like, oh wow, like okay, like there's all these people yelling at me, and there's really this deadline, and oh my god, and I have to get this, and and the high stress, and you know, this isn't like, oh, this isn't a, you realize very quickly this isn't a situation where you fail a class. It's a situation where you are so easily replaceable that they do not care.
Right.
You know? But I personally thrive in high stress situations like that because, again, for me, I think what it does, that's beneficial in this day and age is it gets me out of my emotions very quickly, and everything's just like, just do a good job and just get it done for the project.
Right.
Suddenly, I don't take anything personally. So you know what I mean? Suddenly, you know, it doesn't matter if someone's an asshole to me. It's just like, yeah, no, okay, I got it. Like we'll do
Right.
it. You know,
and you gain that experience, and I think what's so great is I think this is the type of profession. I mean, you never can get old at it. I mean, it's something you can literally do until the day you die if you wanted to. You know.
Yeah, like my dad. He's in advertising, and he's like an advertising producer, and he's been doing it since he was 30, and he's 83. He still does it, and he still does it literally just because he's like, it's so fun. It's just
right.
Yeah, so
you have to have fun doing it. I think so, and I feel very blessed to have you on my team, and I can't wait to go over all the scene stuff with you. I'm like, and you're going to probably go, Sophia, no, what? All right, let's do it.
No, I'm so excited. I'm so excited. But I mean that I'm excited too, because I just love your energy, because the energy is the same. You know, the energy is like, let's just do it. Let's just do it. You know, like because I with this business too, again, like I just love people who, you know, we think about all of the bridges we could cross that are a problem. But I love people that are like, yeah, but we won't worry about it until we get there, if we even get there.
Right.
Right.
Yeah,
like
it's all gonna be good. I mean, you know, we have that. Okay. So I feel like right now, with everything that's going on in this crazy universe, because a lot's going on so many levels, I really feel like we're people are being called up to like step up to the challenge. It's like, okay, you want to be happy? The opportunity is there. Step up, be happy. You want to do what you want to do? Now's the time. No excuses. The time for excuses is over. You can either swallow in your, okay, you know what I mean. I'm really done. You can like swallow in the sewer, or you can like, you know, sing with the eagles. You know what I mean? It's what do you want to do? There's no in between anymore. So either make it happen or don't, and go do your thing down there. But I really think it's times now. So for all those out there who've been thinking about wanting to do something new, wanting to like take that leap of faith, it's like now is the time. It's like something in the energy, the planets, the alignment, I don't know, but I feel it in the air. And I tell that to my daughter. It's like, you want to be a singer? All right, do it. You know, I'll help you however I can. You have to do it. You know, I tell my friends, like, but I want to take this class. I'm like, take it. You know, it's like you don't know how you're gonna feel until you do it. Well, find out. If it sucks, drop out. You know.
Yes. Like I'm a strong believer that too. Like I feel you so heavy in that. And it's one of those things too, where again, like we're in the information age, right? So I understand that there's a lot of thinking and a lot of options and a lot of opinions and all this stuff, but you can never really know unless you experience it. Because I'm the same way. I'm such a pusher. Like if anyone tells, I'm the kind of person where it's like, if you're my friend, don't tell me you want to do something, because I'll be on your ass until you do it. If you tell me, oh, I want to go be in Thailand for a month, I will ask you every month, did you book your trip to Thailand? You do it? You know, because why not? Because, you know, life is meant to be lived. No one said it was supposed to be happy or sad. It's just, you're supposed to live it.
Yeah,
Just
and,
do it.
as filmmakers, what a gift emotions are. You know what I mean? What kind of story could we make if we didn't have all these different kinds of emotions? And every experience we have, we can put in story. As an actor, as a performer, as a creator, as an artist, you can use all of that. And what a gift.
Yeah, especially filmmaking, like, and living life, right? Like, I even think about this too. Like, I'm such a homebody naturally, but
What?
I know, shockingly enough. But anytime I go out, like, is it okay? Like, especially working on your project right now, I am looking at LA like it's a damn fucking set, Sorry, I curse a lot. But like, and that's what's the beauty about living life is when you're in that creative space, everything is inspiration. The cashier at the fucking grocery store ends up being a character that you want to emulate. Like, everything, and it's such a cool,
right?
Yeah.
The possibilities are right there waiting for us.
Yeah,
and that is so exciting. And you are going to do so many you already are doing amazing things, Samantha. And I could just see great things happening for you because you just grab life and you are just wielding it. And I love that. And I admire that so much.
Thank
So
you.
You're my hero. Yeah. And I'm so glad to have you on my team. Yes.
Yeah. No, but you too, right? Like, I love, like, writers in particular are so amazing to me because it's like, because you guys really, really create the foundations of what we're creating, like, because, I write, but mostly what I do in entertainment is I take whatever your idea is and I'm like, okay, let's make it real. But I need the idea first, right?
Collaboration, right? That's why it's so collaborative in this business.
Yeah, but it's just, it's cool. It's cool to be in a business or do for a living. You're creating whatever you want, really. And that's not an opportunity that you get in daily life, or what, it is an opportunity that we all get in daily life, but it's perceived like we don't have that.
Right. Exactly. Yep. And it's all there for us. Well, I think you are amazing and I can't wait to work with you. And I see you doing so many amazing things, whether it's your project or you work with somebody else. I think everything you're going to do is going to turn to gold, so I feel very blessed to have met you, and I'm so excited to work with you.
I'm so excited. I'm so excited. I'm like, I think every project is great and every project's fun. I'm really excited for yours though. Like, like I just said, like, I've been looking at the world through the lens of East of London right now.
So I don't think Mike knows what he really signed up for.
I don't know. Mike has worked with me before, and that's the whole thing. That Mike's worked with me before, and I'm just one of those people where nothing's a problem.
Yeah, it's all gonna be good.
Nothing's a problem. Nothing's a big deal. We're gonna make it happen. Like, that's the mantra that I just stay in the whole time.
It's all good. And because it was so funny. He's like, "Oh yeah, let's do a 10-minute short." I'm like, "Okay," and then I come up with a whole series idea for him.
That's what happens, right? That's what happens. But that's what I mean by, if it's leaning, push it.
Right.
If a story, and I guess it's also, I mean, by letting stories walk, by themselves. Because, like, if a story is not done in 10 minutes, why cut it back?
And we're in Los Angeles. There's so much here in LA. It's like, oh my, wow.
Well, yeah, like, that's actually so interesting too, is like, I hear so many people that want to get into film, right? And they're like, oh, it's so overly saturated in LA, like, oh, like, could you actually make it, whatever? And it's like, well, one, like, what does make it mean, right? But then also too, it's like, but that's why you can produce whatever you want, because there's gonna be somebody who's down to do it. You'll find someone in this city, like, period. You will. People want to work. Like, this is one of those industries where it's like, I know other ones, it's like work-life balance and only want to work at X amount of hours. This one, everyone's like 12 hours. Yeah, let's do it. Why not?
For sure. Hook me up to Ivy. Ivy. You're going to have so much fun. And I know, because I mean, you start next week for and you're doing, okay. All right. But you're so energized and energetic. I'm not even worried. I'm excited. And
No, literally, yeah. I already told you so many times, like and I'm being still serious, is like harass me because I'm like, I'm gonna, yeah. It's always going. The gears are always turning.
so when your show's over and my filming's over, we're going to get together again and talk, and we're just going to talk about the experience of you doing 2 projects back to back, and so that's going to be a fun conversation. But yeah, I'm going to let you go because I usually keep it about this time, and I know I could like talk with you forever. It's like, we're air signs, so yeah, we can do that.
We'll definitely talk after all the projects are wrapped up, because I definitely want to hear about your experience through it too, and all. Yeah, we'll talk.
Yeah, and okay, so if people want to subscribe to your channel, where should they go?
So right now our channel is called Cam Girl Productions, C.A.M. Girl Productions. It's short for Come At Me Girl Productions. Okay. So yeah, that's our YouTube. Check us out.
All right, I will definitely put the link in the description and post this, and yeah, all great things that they are happening.
And our Instagram, if that's easier for people, is Come At Me TV.
Oh, okay, I like that too. I'll post that also. All right, well, thank you so much, Samantha. It was a pleasure speaking with you, and I will talk with you again.
Thank you so much.